Hey, it's me, Riker. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new Graveborn hero, Ivan the Bonesmith. Now, this hero wears cloth-based gear, is part of the support class, and his primary role is to provide a significant amount of buffs for one single target allied hero with the strongest attack rating. So let's have a look at his skills. His ultimate ability is Spellbound. Now, what this ability does is Ivan over here takes control of your strongest allies, providing them a significant amount of buffs while also providing shields, attack, and various other stats for them. So let's have a look at the details. Ivan hides into the darkness and becomes untargetable while manipulating the allied hero with the highest initial attack rating as a puppet for 16 seconds. He sacrifices the current health of other allied heroes, granting the puppet a spirit shield. The spirit shield cannot be dispelled and can protect the puppet against control effects while under manipulation. If the shield is broken, while Ivan will manifest early and stop manipulating the puppet while losing his max health. While hiding in the darkness, Ivan can acquire up to 800 points of energy. When no allied hero can be chosen as a puppet, Ivan instead receives a spirit shield. So, what this means when he becomes untargetable, when he uses his ultimate, he becomes a pile of bones on the ground where he cannot take any damage for that specific duration while he's manipulating the puppet over here. So let's have a look at the buff. Level 2. While being manipulated, a puppet receives additional attack rating and haste equal to part of such attributes of Ivan's. So this is a total of 60% of Ivan's attack and haste rating that he can provide to that allied hero. And the level 3, when manipulation ends, a shield's remaining value is converted into health and returned evenly to all allied heroes. If a shield is broken, Ivan sacrifices the current health of all allied heroes once again and replenishes a spirit shield. This effect can only be triggered one time per battle. So as we can see, he provides a massive amount of defense and offense for one specific allied hero. His next ability, Art of Agony. Each time an allied hero, other than the puppet, which is the ultimate over here, receives a certain amount of damage, which is 5% of their max health, they recover 20 points of energy for Ivan. So in some cases, as soon as you walk onto battle, Ivan will immediately use his ultimate because of the burst damage that the enemy does to your allied heroes. And the level 2 and 3 increase the energy recovery all the way to 50 points of energy. And the level 4, while being manipulated by Ivan, a puppet receives 6 additional points of crit rating for every 100 energy points Ivan possesses. So that means that the puppet or the hero that being controlled by Ivan over here can receive a total of 48 points of additional crit rating for every 100 points Ivan possesses. And his next ability over here, Skeletal Squire. So this is his little pet that will move around in battle and deal damage to the enemies. Ivan sculpts one skeletal squire in the allied half of the battlefield every 5 seconds. The squire inherits some attributes of Ivan and dies when its health is exhausted or 4 seconds after it is sculpted. So this squire is similar to Nimusu totems, however, this squire or pet can move around and deal damage to the enemies. The squire actively attacks the nearest enemy while taunting nearby enemies during its first attack. When the squire perishes, it deals damage to nearby enemies. When an allied hero dies, Ivan immediately sculpts a skeletal squire where the hero dies. The level 2, when an allied hero dies, Ivan sculpts an enhanced squire with double attack rating. The level 3, when an enemy hero dies, Ivan will additionally sculpt one squire pet. This effect can only be triggered once every 5 seconds, and when the squire dies, Ivan receives energy points. So he'll receive a total of 200 additional energy points. So this can supercharge him and allow him to continually use his ultimate skill. And the level 4, all squire's haste is further increased when a squire dies. The enemy's damaged lose energy and are stunned as a result of these squires over here. So the enemy can lose 300 points of energy, continue to be stunned from this specific ability. Now, he will use the squire ability even when he's controlling the puppet over here for the entire duration of battle. So let's have a look at his next ability, Captive Audience. Each time Ivan hides in the darkness, he selects the nearest enemy as the audience. The selected audience then flees erratically in panic for 3 seconds. So this is a small little fear that he can inflict on the enemy hero. The level 2, the audience defense rating is reduced by 35% up to 35% of Ivan's initial attack rating. So this is a debuff that he applies to the enemies. The level 3, the control duration for the audience is extended to 6 seconds. So this is double the duration of the fear and the 60 engravings when control ends. The enemy hero released from the panicked audience state has their haste reduced by 35 points for 8 seconds. So let's have a look at his signature item, Soul Booster. When you unlock the signature item, Ivan hides into the darkness. He sacrifices the current health of other allied hero and replenishes the shield. So he will sacrifice 2% of other allied hero's health and he will replenish the shield for 90% of the health sacrificed. The level 10, increase the portion of the spirit shield replenished. The same is true for 20. The 30 signature item, when other allied heroes sacrifice their health, the puppet recovers 100 energy points. So this is significant, especially for high ultimate damage dealers, and this will allow them to supercharge them and get ultimate back to back within a couple of seconds. So let's have a look at his furniture. Deadly Price. When Ivan hides in the darkness, he sacrifices the current health of the audience as well, every 2 seconds to replenish the puppet's spirit shield for equivalent value. The health sacrifice each time will not exceed a certain portion of Ivan's attack rating. And the 9 out of 9, the significant unlock, during manipulation, damage received by the puppet is reduced by 50%. So in addition to the shields, the additional attack rating, haste, and immunity to control effects, the puppet will receive a massive amount of damage reduction as well. So let's have a look at how he does in battle. So let's have a look at the training dummy over here and how he does in battle over here. So as we can see, as soon as he starts battle, he summons a little squire or his pet. Now his pet will continue to attack the enemies and taunt them. This will reduce the amount of incoming damage for your allied heroes. In addition, as we can see, each time an enemy dies, an additional squire will be summoned. Now from this specific battle, we can see a total of 2 squires at a specific instance, and this allows a massive amount of damage reduction and distraction for your allied heroes. So let's have a look at his ultimate skill. So as soon as you use his ultimate skill, he creates a puppet over the allied hero. Now, in addition, this puppet will summon squires and will give a massive amount of protection and defense, offense, and control immunity for your allied hero. Now, once again, he controls one of your allied heroes. He becomes untargetable from the power of bones on the ground, and we can see that he has a total of 800 points of energy, giving additional crit rating buff to your specific allied hero. Now, this specific hero is not a numbers type of hero, so you will not see a significant amount of damage, healing, or damage taken in terms of battle statistics at this 200 level deficit over here. His main focus will be on significantly buffing one allied hero. So in this specific battle over here, we can see that he will buff Awakened Brutus. Now he does provide a bit of healing over here as well. This is mainly from the sacrificing the enemy's health and replenishing the shield of one of my allied heroes. So let's have a look at this specific battle. So when you start battle, once again, he summons his little pet, then he uses ultimate and he provides the shield for Awakened Brutus. Now, because this is such a high level deficit, this shield usually breaks instantly. However, if you have an immunity such as Brutus over here to all damage, this can significantly supercharge your damage dealers' effectiveness in battle as they become immune to control effects, gain attack rating, crit, haste, you name it, this hero can provide it for your allied hero. Now, from this specific battle, he is constantly untargetable by the enemies. This reduces the amount of incoming damage for Ivan over here, and you can focus the enemies in one specific area because of this. Now we are fighting the final enemy, and we have claimed victory over our enemies over here. So, what is the minimum investment that I would recommend into this specific hero? Now, I would highly recommend getting him as much investment as possible, as this gives him more attack and haste rating that he can provide for his allies. That's 60% attack rating and haste rating that he can give to your allied hero. Now, this is fantastic, especially for your main damage dealer. So, items such as his signature item, especially his 30 signature item, will be a great benefit in addition to this extra energy generation for your main damage dealer. So 30 signature item. The other item that I would highly recommend is getting the 9 out of 9 furniture, as this can give you an additional benefit on top of all the other fantastic benefits that he can provide, with the 50% damage reduction for your puppet. And I would also recommend getting his 30 engravings. The reason for this provides an additional utility, allowing you to steal the enemy's energy, giving you more control in terms of not allowing the enemy to use their ultimate, stunning their enemies, and provide additional stats in terms of attack and haste with his ultimate ability. Now, I do not recommend getting his 60 engravings, as this does not provide any additional benefits other than the previous ones currently mentioned, and this will simply allow you to survive longer if you have a lot of burst from the enemy heroes.